Hey folks, welcome to the stream, and we're back for some more Chronicles of the Vampire Hunter development. And last night we were working on the save game and a little bit of interact. So for full testing we're going to delete our current save game. This is the code that we implemented last night, which runs on from unlocking the next level. Okay, and basically we have to fix this error which is set high scores, and we need to see where this is coming from. Now it should be coming from here, which is kind of correct. Right, and then that should be going in there, which is kind of correct, but we want to have a look at this error again and see what it's actually telling us. Okay, so we are accessing none, apparently. So we're going to close that for now. Then we're going to play, and this is the changes made last night. Okay, so what we're going to have a look at is this gives us a rating of 4. Right, now that's actually okay, because that is what I wrote in the database. Okay, now if we actually complete this level with a 5, okay, that's the save game as the target. And we do have a high scores, so that should definitely not fail. So we can step over to there and resume. Right, and now we have a save game. Question is, we don't have any errors. Okay, I think I see the problem here. And The problem is that we need these two. And that needs to go in there. Okay. Because the issue was that if we didn't do this part, then we weren't getting this instance. So in this case, that instance was nothing. Right? Now that we've actually brought it to here, we do it. Okay. So now if we press play, we come into here, then that isn't right. Okay. But there's something wrong here. Okay, I think the best idea here is to start breaking this down. So this is the part that we do the unlocked. Right? And this is the part where we do the locked. So in actual fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do that again. Except that is going to go in there. Right? And this is this is actually getting a bit complicated. So as I said, we'd probably be best right, that's okay. Okay, we'll add breakpoint there. And did we actually get 5 stars the last time? That's the question, because if we didn't, then that kind of makes it null and void. Right? So we're on 4, which is the default, okay? Right. So this item is a rating of 5. Okay. If we step over here, we've got a rating of 5, and then we save it. Right. So now we've got a rating of 5. Okay. Escape that. And this is still giving us the same problem. Now, I'm just wondering, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this do once. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's that. Oh, it must be though. Well, this is an interesting problem. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go here again. And we're down to 4 again. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go to picture level. And then we are actually on the interact. And this is kind of the number we want. So the interesting thing here is what that rating is. Okay. Because it seems that we haven't got the correct rating, because there's no way it should go to 4. So that should be 0, that's right. Now, that's getting it from the game instance. Which is right. But let's have a think about this. If our rating is 5, it's going to go from 1 to 5, and then it's going to be slot 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is correct. So it only makes sense that this cannot be 5. Right? Hi Zimbar, how you doing? Right, so we're going to need to do a print string on this. Right, we're going to put it up for 30 seconds. We're going to do our usual, making it white. Make it a bit more visible. Okay. So if we go to here, and I'm going to take this breakpoint off, then we resume, and it does say 4. Wow. So that tells me that when we load the game up, we're not doing it properly. Right? So we're loading the game here. We're getting the save games. And we're not setting the high scores. And that's player scores. Right. Now, if we break this, that is the right thing. Right, hang on a second here. We want to get high scores. It's not the player scores. I don't know why the player scores is there. But that should fix it up for us. Put that in there. Play. And there we go. And we get our 5. Now, strangely, if we go back to, I believe it was here, right, this isn't quite right. Oh yeah, it is. It's fine. It's fine. We're going through and we're checking to see if we get the right level, and we get the right level number and it's level complete. So that's actually okay. Right, okay, so that's fine. Right. Okie dokie. So now we have this working. So let's delete our save game again. And when it first gets created, it gets created as a rating of 4. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll change that down to 2. On fact 1. Right? Right, so we can open this up and we can say a rating of, let's say, 1. Okay. And we'll minimize that down. Press play. Did that delete our game there? Right, so if you've not done it, it basically does that. And then so we resume that, disable that, and we got 3 stars, right? Now if we go back here, well, that ain't working. And we're getting this error again. And did I delete that? Right, okay, we'll delete it, because I'm not sure if I deleted it last time. You guys will be able to tell me in the chat if I actually deleted that the last time. I'm going to dismiss that for now. So that gave us 4. Right. And now we're getting, hey Slors, how you doing? Now we're getting nothing. Right, I know why that is. I know why that is. At least I think I know why it is. Yeah, we're doing it on the player scores here. I knew that was a problem. Right. Save that. I don't know why these player scores are in the saved game. It would probably be a good idea for me to delete them just now. So that they're never used. Right, but what we want to do is go to blueprints. Main. So you're back, Slors, are you? Back from where? So we've got player scores, which is the high scores thing. Right, we're going to delete this because it's just causing me a bit of confusion. And hopefully that's the only places it was used. And what we're going to have to do again is delete our high score. Our save game. Go to here. So that says 1, which is fine. And now that gave us a surprisingly long amount of time there. Huh. We only got 1 star. Okay, whatever. I need to do a little bit better than that. Right, but it's still showing us 1 star, which is good. Oops. Right, so we can close that. And it gives us our 5 stars, okay? But what we want to do is restart, play game, and we've got our 5 stars. So that's us now back to the way it should be. And that's working okay because we don't have any stars on that yet. Because we haven't completed it, which is all good. And there we go. So, our next port of call is we're going to close all this down. And we're going to go to our base monster. Okay. And what do we have here? Well, what we can do is, if I'm going to put a sphere. Oh, okay, no, I'm not. That's not actually what I wanted. What we want is a sphere collision. And let's set it to 128. That's probably not big enough. We'll go with 256. We're going to save that. Right, now that, what we're saying here is that is the attack thing. Okay. And BPI monster state. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a function called monster attack, and then we're going to say attack. Okay. And in our individual monster, right, we're going to have event attack. Sorry, monster attack. Okay. And then in our base monster, since that's an interface, we'll drag this down a bit. Right, and in here, this is going to be collision, but it's going to be overlap only pawn. And then we're going to do that. Right, but we'll bring that above. And then we're going to say has tag. And that's going to be player. And then we're going to have branch. And then on this we're going to say, probably we're going to do a do once. Okay. Then we're going to get child. And then we're going to get a copy of 0. and then we're going to say monster attack. Okay. And then I'm going to save that. If we're going to our charred demon monster attack, alright, we're going to delete that. That's all fine. And in here, you know what? I think this base monster should have the controller. I'm going to say AI underscore controller, right? And that's going to be AI cont monster. Okay. And this is the anim instance, right? So basically in here we do new state. We set it to attack. Now, I'm just wondering if this is going to work. Right. Well, we're going to have to try it to see if this actually works. So we're going to add a breakpoint. Right. And then we're going to go to maps. And we're going to go to level 2, which is our big level. Right. And then we're going to put a monster in. And we're going to see if that fires. Well, actually, we're going to see what fires. Okay. So, we are facing the wrong way there, I believe. And we're not at the start. We need to get to to the start. Which is over here. Right, and then we need to bring in one of our monsters. Okay, press play. Right, he's spotted us. He's coming for us. Right, so we didn't fire that. Right. We'll add a breakpoint here. Press play again. Now we might actually be okay for this. I'm going to escape that for now. Right, and I'm actually going to break that for now. And what I'm going to do is we want our animation blueprint. Right, and we want to go to our graph, state machine, and our attack is going to be let's say our jump attack. Right, bring this in, press play. Now actually this is done on when it gets close enough to do it, to jump on me. Right, so the way to fix this is to go to our monster and go to, you see this ain't going to quite work. Alright, I'll explain to you why. This player move to location is going to depend on a particular attack. Now we could set this up actually. Or can we? If we set that to, let's say, 500. Right, because we want the monster to attack from quite far away. Right, he needs to be a bit closer than that. Right. So we'll half that distance. We'll press play. Right, and we'll see how this goes. Where is he? Apparently he's vanished. I can only guess he's at the other side. Yeah, he's back there. Okay, so where's he going to go? We'll have to put that on our to-do list. There's a light there where a picture is. So that's not right, obviously. Right, so that's good. But this is not going to be a loop. So we'll delete that. And if we go back to here, once he attacks, there's no going back. Is So that says not screaming. I wonder if there is a way you can do this that says if the animation's finished. Right, now I can't remember if I do it. I probably obviously don't do it in here. But I'm pretty sure I do it in here. Time remaining. Right. That's not it. It's this one here. So that should be time remaining jump attack. Suppose we can say 0.05. Then we can go into there, so that should send us back into our idle. I mean, we could actually send it into like punching or something, or biting or something like that. But if you're enjoying the content, hit like and subscribe. I'm going for a cigarette. I should be 2 minutes. Check out the description for Discord and Patreon and my previous game. I shall be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back. And that should now be good. And we'll see where the monster spots us. Now he's coming back down this way. He's spotted us, I believe. Oh, and he's got a bit iffy squiffy. And I'm guessing yeah, we probably shouldn't go for that. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to do. That are going to make this a bit more interesting. So it does stop, which is fine. Now I'm wondering, what this does. Didn't spot us there. Now there's an interesting thing. Can the monsters go through the doors? It would appear they can if they're open. Right, so that change did muck things up. Right, so we'll just delete that for now. Now, I'm just wondering here. Can a monster open a door? Right, now if a monster can open the door, right, this is going to be actually, we know they can go through it if it's open already, right? We do know that. But the question is, can we make it so that the monsters can actually open the door? Now, what we'd have to do is say that the doors don't affect navigation. And then we'd have to set right, so that's cool. That's cool and all. But what do you guys think? Do you think the doors should be a part of navigation? Or do you think we should get the monsters to be able to go through doors? Apparently they're not. Right? Now, I'm thinking here, that we could get the doors to open. Right? Right, so we could say has tag. And this could be or. And that can go in there. And we can say mob, right? And then we can go to base monster. Right? And then we can give this a tag of mob. Okay. And now the interesting thing is to put our mob in between two doors. Right, so if we plonk a monster down here, right, he should be actually able to get out of here if there's no wood everywhere, right? So if we go to our other mob, so what we'll do is if we come back to here, right, and we delete him and press play, right, this monster, in theory, well that door, yeah it did. It's still getting stuck on the door. But that door should actually open. Right? Unless we've got the collision set to not collide. Right, the question is, this box 1, overall dynamic, so it should actually be working. It would appear that I need to do that for the other one. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that. That's going to go in there. That's going to go in there. And then we're going to do it for the other one. Wait a minute. I need to join that up. Alright. And then we need to fill this in. And then the question is going to be, is this going to work? In theory it should. That goes into there. That goes into there. That goes into there. Right. So now our little monster should actually open doors. Except he can't. Okay. So the question now becomes, is it getting to here? Got box and box one. Both set the same. Now it is going there, right? So our monster definitely went there. And that says false. So the tag is the issue here. And it's basically saying that that's false and that's false. Hey Sukahoy, how you doing? Right, so what we're basically saying here is it's not seeing that tag on the actor, right? So we may need to set it in our char daemon. Okay, so we add mob, save that. Can you play it? Yes, I can. But we're testing at the moment because we want our monsters to be able to move through doors. And we're at a branch here. That's going to say false. This should say true. Right. Right, that's cool. So that means that our monsters can now move through doors. Okay, our monster was trapped, but he ain't trapped any longer. And here he comes. So he can move through doors. Right, so there he goes, he's going through another door. And he's chasing after me. He lost sight and lost. So that's what we want, right? We want our monsters to be able to walk through doors. And here he comes. He spotted me and he's in range and attack. Cool. That is exactly what we want. And there we go. So for Sukahoy, if you want to see it from the start, just for you, right? I shall explain it. Right. So we have all this all works. You can click on credits, close, high scores, close, options, audio, display, visuals, key bindings, gameplay, blah blah blah, close. Then when you press the play, this is the level select, right? So basically you enter a level by looking at a painting and it gives you your current rating, etc. So you'll notice that we've got no rating here, but we can enter it. And then the idea, this is a very simple level, but you've got pickups, one being the mini-map, which brings up the mini-map. Then you pick up all the dots, so imagine 3D Pac-Man, right? And when you've picked up all the levels, it gives you a point to go to, and this is a portal which takes you out the level. Then you get a score, you disco dance. Then when you've seen all your stuff, you can close and go back to the level. And then obviously we completed that level, so we can now enter this other level. There was no monsters, that was just for testing, by the way. But the point is that this, you've got to pick up all the things. You've got to avoid the monsters. And there's lots of spooky stuff goes on. Got to break your way through wooden panels. There's other pickups called stuns, which is something I've got to work on actually. And we don't want him. Right, he's away the other way. And the door's shut so he won't see us. So we can go off and collect our things, but as you can see we've got a lot to collect. Then there's spooky sound effects, all that stuff, music. I've got it down quite low at the moment. And if you look closely, you'll notice that we've got a green wallpaper there, right? But if we press play again, then everything changes except the layout. Okay, you'll notice we've got a whole different wallpaper, it's got a different layout to pictures and stuff like that. We do need to fix a couple of things here, which is like there's lights on top of pictures which shouldn't actually happen, so we'll have to have a look at that. And if a monster sees us and then chases us, it can then attack us and kill us. Okay. So basically, when it hits the player, or when it becomes in range of the player, we want to do something with this, right? And at the moment all it does is wait for 20 seconds. But what we actually want to do here is lock the player down. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new task that locks the player in place. Because basically you're dead. If the monster gets within range of attack, then you're dead. Okay, that's the logic here. So if it moves to here, then we lock the player down and we kill the player basically. So what we need to do is go to our monsters and our AI tasks, and we'll copy this one. And it's basically player death, right? So we set task to player death, right? And player, and we can do the player location if we want. Doesn't probably take that out. But now if we go into here, we can go to Pawn Chronicles, get the player location, which is fine. We're not going to do that. Right, but what we're going to do set can move to false. Right, so basically at this point you can't move. Right, and then what we'll do is get probably rotation. Get actor rotation. Turn. Face. Let's look at, I think. Find look at rotation. Right? And the star is going to be actor forward is that. And then we're going to get the control pawn. I'll need to check which vectors I need to do this. And actor rotation. Right, so what I want to do here, or what I want to happen is, if you're facing away from the monster, I want you to, when you're about to get attacked, which basically means when the monster is in range, it locks you in place so you can't move. Basically, you're petrified. But you turn to face the monster, so you always see it attacking you. So if the monster attacks you from the back, you will be locked in place, and then you'll be spun around to face the monster. Okay, so that you see the shocking moment that it basically bites your face off. At least that's the idea. Right? So I don't know if I've got these two vectors right. Right, but hopefully he's going to come up behind us. And he did. Now he's coming after me. Oh, and things went a bit mad. Right, so this obviously ain't right. Find look at rotation. Actor location. And again, we'll just grab the control pawn. We'll say actor location. I'll need to read this one to find out exactly what these two vectors should be. right? But we'll go through the same process. Right, he can't come after me, so we're going to have to let him run away a bit. Right, there he goes. Right, I'm going to turn face the other way. He jumps on me, and we're getting that weird thing again. So we need an example of how we do this find look at rotation. Just trying to check Google on this one. Find look at rotation. Right. I don't want a video, I just want it explained. Right, okay. Right, I get it now. Or at least I think I do. Right, basically what we do is we break that, we split that, we split that, right? Right, in the meantime we're going to delete that and that. We're going to pull this down here. We're going to get that. Then we're going to get the world rotation. And we really want the actor. Actor rotation. Right, and then we're going to split that. We're going to put X in there, Y in there, and then that to there. Okay. Oh, went back the way we came. Oh, you got a hat. where's our dude? Here he comes. Right, he's spotted me. Ah, still we're getting that weird rotation thing. Now, I'm just wondering if it's actually this can move thing that's causing the issue. So we shall temporarily just do this to find out what's going on. We're not going we actually aren't going to move, right, to simulate us unable to move, but we'll see if it's the actual controller that's causing us an issue here, which could be, you never know. Right, he meant to be again, damn it. Right, he spotted me this time. So it's not that, it is the rotation. Right, so there's something going on that's weird. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the opposite this time. We're going to do that. We're going to not do that. We're going to do this straight into here. We're not going to change the actor. But this is a kind of an interesting problem actually. Load this up again. Right, we want this guy to get us. Right, and that all works. So it is the rotation of the camera that is actually causing the problem here. So it is this rotation thing. Which is weird. Okay, to make this a bit easier, right, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a button, and with that button we can get our pawn to look at something. Okay, so we'll duplicate that, right, and we'll change this let's say 85, 6, right, and we'll say get actors of class, alright, we'll just say that because it's going to be monster base, and then we're going to get a copy, and we're just going to get the first one, that's going to go in there, right, then we're going to get location, and then we're going to say self, then we're going to say location, actually, you know what, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go back to our task, and I'm going to say do once, right, and then I'm going to run it. Because I think it's because it keeps running it, which would make sense, so it keeps slightly changing. Right, so darn it. Well, if I go backwards, right, come on, down here. That's a boy. Come. Up you come, that's it. Right, we didn't turn. Of course we didn't turn, because I didn't change it to put that code back in. So that should actually go to there. Ooh, yeah, okay. Right, and what we'll do is we'll kind of do this in reverse. Question is, where's our bad guy? Here he is. Here he comes. It kind of worked, but it didn't. I didn't turn to face him. Okay, so back to the original way that we're going to try and fix this, or at least right, and we're going to need actor location hack. Okay, actor location. Look at, find that. I'm going to do that and that. We might actually need to do a certain amount of right, so we're going to be doing rotation. Actor alright, and we're splitting this, and we're splitting that, and to be quite honest, these are going to be 0 anyway. Right, so we put this in button number 6, right? Save that. And press play. And when we do this, we should turn to our left. Or we should turn in some direction, put it that way, right? So hit 6. And nothing happens. Rotation. wonder if this will do it. Try that. It's not what I wanted to do, really. According to this, it's not moving us at all. Now, I could do that, and we could say like 45, right? And then if we press play, we can test what it's actually doing here. So that's not rotating us at all. Right, so it's got to be right, so we're not going to worry too much about that. Right, so right, I'm going to add a breakpoint here. I'm going to add that in there. We're going to save that. We're going to press play. And I want to see what number comes out of there to see why we are not rotating. Right, so if we press 6, right, that's fine. We step over, right, and we've got our pawn. Now our yaw is 56.1, right, so it is giving us a value here, right, no doubt about it. That's 0, that's 0.1, that's fine as well. These are just going to be 0 and 0. Problem is that this actor is not rotating. Right, so I'm going to stop that again. And what we're going to do is we're going to get rotation right, and I want to see what this yaw actually is. Right, now we should be able to look at this in the world and find out what our actual yaw is in the world itself. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to say pawn, and we've got Pawn Chronicles there. You can see that the yaw is 83, right? There it's changing, and it's 79.4. We hit 6. Then we step over, and there's our 79.4. Right, and our new yaw should be 53. Right, so if we turn to face 53, that's actually probably about right if he's up there somewhere. Did that actually move us there? Because what we actually want to do is lerp from here to here, right? But fast. Right, we could do that, but we're not going to in this case. Right, but in theory, I should be able to go in here. Right, do that. Then run to the end of this thing. Turn the other direction. Then hit 6. Right, then step over. And it's not going to show me them, which is fine. And that's going to be 27. Right? But it didn't turn me at all. And if I turn around to 27, it's there. Which is distinctly possible. Right? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try it in there. And we're not going to try and move this time. Right? But whatever's going on here, I can't seem to move can't seem to rotate our player, which of course is very, very strange. Okay, if I do that, right, and then we look at our chronicles here, we're on -173, right, then we hit 6, step over, and this gives us 37, right, but it does not rotate us. Right, well, I think I'm going to call it there, guys. If you've enjoyed the stream, okay, Cyber Shell, give me a second. I was looking at a bit of reference here, right? Right, in the player, disable controller, get active class. Get player. Yeah, but you see, Cyber, it's actually doing it properly, it's just not rotating it. That's the problem. It's not rotating it. Now, if I do self here, there's something. Now, this shouldn't have mattered anyway, but can move doesn't set anything, it just blocks any input. Yeah, Z is the up and down axis, but if you're rotating round it, then it becomes your actual rotation. And that's still not the issue. It's the same issue. This isn't rotating. We're not rotating on any axis, right? No matter what this was, even if the yaw was the wrong rotation axis, which it's not, it would still rotate on some axis, right? But it's not rotating at all, right? If you notice, we were sitting at minus 127 on the player controller, right? But when we tried to set it, it was setting to 37, which was in the right kind of direction, but it didn't rotate, right? So it's not this calculation. This calculation is correct, and this yaw is correct. It's just not setting the world rotation. And then all the errors after that is the fact that it's doing like its camera shake. I can show you exactly what I mean here, right? And that's still not the problem, right? Even if that is the problem in the end, or a problem in the end, that's not the problem. The problem is that the actor is not rotating at all, right? I'll show you what I mean. Right. You're still not understanding. It's not the problem, right? Watch. This is the pawn. His current rotation is minus 172. Okay? If I spin around, it changes, right? Okay? So we're on 179, looking directly east, basically. So if I hit 6, okay, I'm reading where the monster is, and the monster is off to the west in relation to where I am, okay? So it still doesn't matter. The problem is, it's not rotating at all. Right, I've got two different values coming in. Right, you'll see that in a second, right? You'll remember that I'm on, if you look to your right on my screen, it says 179 rotation on the Z, okay? If I step to here and set the world rotation on my capsule component, right, we're going to be setting it to 30, right? So 30 is obviously not minus 179, okay? But it doesn't rotate, okay? As will be seen here, when I press resume, nothing happens. Okay? So the calculation is fine. Okay, it's giving me a different number, which is all I kind of need at this point, right? But whatever is happening, if I set the actor rotation, it doesn't do it. And if I set the world rotation, it doesn't do it. Now, I could do relative, but I don't think that's going to work either, because basically I'll be setting the rotation of the capsule independently of the actual actor itself. So I don't think that's actually right, but I can try it. Been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, so why not? Ah, damn it. I'll just join it up here. Now, as I said, this might work, but what I'm thinking is it might actually throw off like what is forward and what is back. I'm getting the world location. You're still not getting it here. The number's different, right? If two numbers are different, two rotation numbers are different, which I just showed you, minus 179 is not the same as 30, right? So it's not rotating. That's the point. The number is correct. Right, once again, I'll show you again, right? Here is the pawn. Here is the current rotation, minus 177, right? So, if I press 6, it's going to calculate a new value, right? And that value is 60, okay? So 60 is not the same as minus 177. So therefore, it should rotate in some way, right? But as you've seen, up until now, it doesn't. Right? But let's see if the relative rotation does it. And it doesn't rotate at all. Right? It just doesn't rotate. So it's supposed to go from 177 to 60, but it did nothing. Okay? So nothing seems to rotate my pawn. I'm going to try something really mental. I'm going to say get player pawn. Rotation. And I'm going to set the actor rotation on this. Now, this would be absolutely insane if this worked, but it's worth a try. No, why on earth would a monster be in the same blueprint as a player? Right. 6. I'm going to be astounded if this works. But you never know. You see? Nothing. Does not rotate. Right? So we've basically tried the pawn, the capsule, the world rotation of the actor. Right? What we could do is we could stop this. We'll try something else here. Do that. What the heck? Do that. Do that. And this is my last goal before calling it for a cup of coffee. And I'll probably find that the answer is completely stupid. And we've missed the bleeding obvious. which is the usual, really. I do appreciate you chiming in, Cybershell, by the way. It's just you're not quite understanding the problem. You're thinking that the problem is a little more complicated than it actually is, because it's actually fairly straightforward what the problem is. Except I don't know the answer yet. Right, so basically we should spin around here, but we don't. Okay, well, anyway, if you've enjoyed this problem solving and failure to do so, then hit like and subscribe. I shall be back at 8 PM Central. Check out the description for the Discord and Patreon and my previous game on Steam. And thank you guys for watching, and bye bye for now.